My name is Marcia Riggs, and I'm an ethicist and educator of religious leaders. Over the last 16 years, I've been developing and teaching using an ethical theory, religious ethical mediation, REM. The theory is based upon liberation ethics, transformative mediation theory, and womanism, Black women's socio-religious thought and movement for justice. Briefly, religion refers to that which is of ultimate concern and that which is the center of value, not necessarily an institution or set of doctrines. Ethical points to those virtues, values, and visions for life used to describe and prescribe our character and actions as individuals, communities, and societies. Mediation refers to processes for living into the tensions of ethical life from a transformative orientation to conflict. Violence is the socio-ethical fabric of 21st century life together. And this violence is not only the large televised local or global events, it is the way we daily disrespect, silence, marginalize, objectify, and fear one another. It is the way that we pollute and destroy the planet. Violence is the harm we do one another in macro and micro contexts such as educational institutions. In the US, a debate over a proper motto illustrates the violence of partisan polarization in the macro context. It leads to a vicious tension of religious pluralism versus Christian chauvinism. This tension earmarks a violent socio-ethical context in its binary oppositional absolutist morality. Consequently, moral community is distorted, and questions that need to be asked are dismissed. Who counts? Who's valued? Who's marginalized? Who's expendable? What counts? What norms guide our common life, and do they render some of us deviant? What is justice? What's owed to whom for present or past wrongs? How do the goods of society get distributed? How are laws applied fairly? In this violent socio-ethical context, an ethical theory of education must therefore proceed from the five presuppositions that I invite you to read on the slide. These presuppositions ground the ethical theory of REM, ethics as intercultural encounter. This means A, the ethical is intrinsic to who we have been created to be in relationship with others. B, the ethical emerges as we encounter others with whom we seek or find ourselves in relationship. Pedagogy based in this ethical theory is practiced as transformative mediation, and educators become religious ethical mediators. We affirm one, classrooms as spaces where moral growth through community building and the acquisition of knowledge is the combined telos of teaching and learning. And two, classrooms are dynamic, filled with energies of intercultural encounter, energies of conflict that can be directed in destructive or generative ways. Teaching must be dialogical and empathetic. Empathy as intercultural communication assumes difference in multiple reality, that we are creating reality through our embodied encounters, constructing narratives about our experiences. The teacher, as religious ethical mediator, begins from a genuine posture of self knowledge, owning her or his embodied particularities and different construction of the world. The teacher suspends her or his self knowledge as she or he embraces each of the students and their particularities and differences. As a religious ethical mediator, the teacher invites students to understand the subject matter of the course from within their own particularity and difference. The teacher then mediates conflict, interposing and communicating between interpersonal tensions of learning that occur during intercultural encounter. After this kind of teaching learning encounter, students have grown in understanding the subject and themselves, and the teacher can reground her or himself in an enlarged self-knowledge because of the encounter. When I envision this pedagogical practice, it looks like this graphic illustration. This graphic is clearly based in my particularity and difference. However, the theory of REM invites each teacher to envision practicing REM consistent with her or his personal and contextual particularity and difference. In all cases, though, this must be consistent. Teaching and learning happens in the space of intercultural encounter, an ethical space where teachers are responsible for guiding an educational process that holds intentions, a culture of deception, our fears, and a culture of moral courage, our hopes. Thank you for listening.